Every human being faces failures in life. It is inevitable. However, what matters is not how many times we fall, but how we get back up afterward. It is the moments of defeat that toughen us up and prepare us for real victories. The great philosophers of antiquity teach us that struggling with difficulties is a natural part of life, and it's important to remember that every failed step is another lesson on the road to success. We will talk about how not to give up in difficult moments and how bad habits can become an obstacle on the way to our dreams. Things don't always go according to plan in life, and when faced with difficulties, it's easy to lose motivation. This is where the philosophy of Stoicism comes to the rescue. Stoics, such as Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, said that everything that happens in life is an opportunity for personal growth. They taught us to treat external circumstances as an inevitability that cannot be controlled, but we can control our reaction to them. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that difficulties are given to us to test our resilience and willpower. When you face failure, it is important to remember, it is a test through which you grow stronger. Failure is not the end, but the beginning of a new phase. Resilience and self-control are the main qualities that help you cope with difficulties. Stoicism teaches us not to be attached to results, but to focus on the process and improving ourselves. Philosophers say, failures don't destroy you if you don't let them destroy your spirit. It is important to realize that every defeat is just a step towards success, and if you don't give up, you will reach your goals sooner or later. The philosopher Plato believed that the development of the soul and mind was more important than anything else in life. He argued that our life is a constant movement towards truth and perfection. Each person faces internal and external obstacles, but it is important not to stop at what has been achieved. Plato emphasized, failures are only temporary obstacles on the way to knowledge of oneself and the world. When a person faces difficulties, he often begins to doubt his own abilities. But as Plato taught, truth and success are always somewhere ahead, and our task is to strive for them, despite all the obstacles. Plato believed that through the realization of his weaknesses and mistakes, a person can become stronger and wiser. Therefore, if you have not given up after failure, it means that you are one step closer to your true goal. We should take failures as lessons. If you make mistakes, it is not a failure, it is part of your learning. Plato reminded us that learning and development is a process, not an end point, and failure is an integral part of it. Many people face failure not only because of various external circumstances, but also because of their own bad habits. They act as invisible chains that hold back our potential. Habits such as procrastination, laziness, addiction to social media, or negative thinking can seriously hinder our development. Philosophers have warned, to succeed, it is important to learn to control your weaknesses. Aristotle said that a person becomes what he or she does on a regular basis. Harmful habits form a negative cycle that is hard to get out of. Every time we give up in the face of a bad habit, we move further away from our goal. Habits are not formed in a day, but you can only get rid of them through perseverance and daily work on yourself. To conquer your weaknesses, you need to recognize their existence. This is the first step. Then it is important to replace bad habits with useful ones. Instead of procrastination, to act. Instead of negativity, to look for positive moments in each day. This will help you move towards success faster. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "What does not kill us makes us stronger." This phrase has come to symbolize the struggle against hardship. Nietzsche emphasized that suffering and failure are an integral part of human existence, but it is what makes us stronger if we learn from it. When faced with failure, it is important not to get stuck in these moments, but to act. Nietzsche believed that through action and hard work, a person can overcome their weaknesses and become what they want to be. An example of this is his idea of the superhuman, which is the idea that everyone is capable of overcoming their limitations and rising above themselves. Instead of fearing mistakes and avoiding difficulties, you should welcome them as opportunities to become a better person. Every time you take a step forward, even after failure, you get closer to your goal. Nietzsche taught us not to give up and to keep moving forward despite any obstacles. When it comes to Buddhist philosophers, they say that our greatest enemy is ourselves. Our fears, doubts, and habits prevent us from achieving success. To free ourselves from them, it is important to develop inner discipline and mindfulness. Buddhism says that all suffering comes from attachment to certain outcomes or desires. When one realizes this, one can get rid of the fear of failure. This does not mean that one should stop dreaming and striving for things, but it is important to let go of excessive worrying about what will happen if something goes wrong. Overcoming fear and inner limitations is the path to true freedom. By conquering ourselves, we learn to accept life as it is and move forward with confidence. Every failure is an opportunity to learn and get better. Remember that failures are temporary hardships that prepare you for greater success. You are stronger than your failures, and new victories are ahead of you.